Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. In today's video we're going to look at getting started with the Ossiarch Bonereapers in Warhammer Age of Sigmar using the faction Spearhead box set as a starting point. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest, The Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. And so, leading the Spearhead box set is a Mortisan Soulreaper. This 5 health, 4+ save, movement 5, wizard 1 character for the Ossiarch Bonereapers is probably one of my favourite hero models the Ossiarch Bonereapers have, to be honest. It's a really cool model, but Wizard 1 means it's able to cast a spell in both your and your opponent's hero phase if you use the command points to do so in your opponent's hero phase. But you've also got other abilities there as well for Soul Reaper, where you can subtract 1 for wound rolls for combat attacks made by enemy units within combat range of this unit, which is pretty cool, enabling you to maybe push this unit back into your lines, sort of hide it so it's just inside that 3-inch range of your opponent's units, and then get the negatives, so your opponent's having to target maybe some of your tougher units with that negative. We've also got Necrotic Impetus as well, where if this unit actually fights, you can then pick a friendly or non-hero Ossiarch Bonereaper unit near it as well to fight after, and that unit will get +1 to hit when it does so. This is pretty cool, so if you do get this model in there, fight, get that +1 to hit, and can get another unit to fight after, you might destroy something and it might not be a worry to have this unit in combat. Speaking of units that can get in combat, the Mortek Guard are that unit. 4+ save, 1 health each, but they do have Nadirite weapons which are crit 2 hits and anti-charge +1 rend. These are both pretty solid abilities on their attacks. They want to have your opponent charge them and then can really do some devastating things with both those abilities in there. Their shield wall ability further pushes them to be a unit that wants to sit, hold and receive the enemy's charge, with shield wall the passive ability meaning you ignore all modifiers to save rolls for this unit, both positive and negative for the rest of the turn if you did not use a move ability in the same turn. So this is a pretty cool way to really just sort of force your opponent have to go into a tar pit that's just going to sit there for a while. Not to mention you've got a standard bearer which does help increase your control score as well, and ward 6+ on top of that save as well is nice. We then have a cavalry unit for the force, that is the Kavalos Deathriders. 3 health each, a 4+ saves. They're pretty survivable. They've got crit 2 hits in combat with their Kavalos blades and charge +1 damage. So Ren 1 damage 2 on the charge. Your Deathrider wedge ability means when this unit uses a charge model, this unit can pass through models in enemy infantry units as if they had fly, which is pretty cool. And you've also got unstoppable charge, where you inflict some mortal damage when you get that charge off as well. Like the Mortek Guard on foot, they do have a standard bearer to increase some of your control score. Ward 6+ in there as well on models with a decent save on 4+, which can of course go to 3+ if you use all that defense, and 3 wounds is a fairly solid unit as well. You're going to take a decent amount of removing. Lastly, we actually get a monster inside this particular box set, and that's the Gothizzar Harvester. This 10 health, 4+ save monster has quite a decent amount of attacks in combat, with its Soul Crusher weapons, 6 attacks, hitting on 4s, but wounding on 2s with rend 2, damage 2 and crit 2 hits. You've also got some more attacks in there from the ossified hooves and tail as well, and a ranged attack on top of that. Gruesome Surgery means you can pick an enemy infantry unit in combat with this unit, roll a dice, and on a 2+ on the D3 roll, for each model slain by this ability you can return a slain model to the unit and inflict damage based upon that D3 roll at the beginning. Bone Harvester will actually collect bone type points when this unit slays enemy models in combat, and you can then return models to friendly units as well with the repair construct ability from those bone type points you collected. And so, where to go next? Well, pretty simply, we just need to pick up 1 more unit to get a 1000-point army, and that's a Liege Kavalos. A big reason we're picking up this hero is it enables us to take the Kavalos Deathriders inside a regiment, so we're not giving away any command points for having auxiliary units in our force. But this 7 health, 3+ save hero does have quite a bit of damage it can put out, which is nice, can really help the Kavalos Deathriders. And the Spear of the Cavalry ability means when this unit uses a charge, it can get the fly rule much like the Kavalos Deathriders. Unstoppable charge does mortal damage on the charge, once again much like the Kavalos Deathriders. Master of Cavalry is an ability where you can pick a friendly Kavalos Deathrider units after this unit's used to fight, so long as that Kavalos Deathrider unit hasn't fought itself, and they can be picked to fight immediately after this unit, so you can get quite a bit of damage with both units charging, doing mortals on those charges, and then both getting to attack before your enemy's unit gets to attack as well. And so our list today, we're going to play with the Mortisan Council battle formation. This is pretty simple. Necrotic Symphony means we just get to add one to casting rolls for any of our friendly infantry wizards. While there are other ones that maybe target some of our units, when we further invest on particular types of units, they might become more viable, but +1 to cast on your wizard to begin with is a solid ability nonetheless. And so our first regiment is going to be led by our Mortisan Soulreaper. This model has actually taken the heroic trait Aura of Sterility, which means you subtract 1 for wound rolls for shooting attacks that target friendly Ossiarch Bonereaper units while they're held within 12 inches of this unit. Pretty cool debuff. We don't have any shooting, the big monster in our force here, so I think this is a solid ability to take. For units inside this regiment, we then have our Mortek Guard that are being reinforced and the Gothizzar Harvester there as well. Regiment 2 is got our Liege Kavalos leading it as our hero. This model is going to be our general, and we've got the Load of Saturation artifact power on it, which gives the model Ward 5+. Then for units inside the regiment, we have our Kavalos Deathriders. We hope this video was helpful in getting you started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and it was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to start your own force in the game. If you have any other questions at all, please comment down below. And while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and join our Discord server to check out all our future Warhammer Age of Sigmar content.